You are listening to the Higher View podcast. This is the podcast dedicated to the creative believer. My name is Jonathan. I'm your host, and I'm here with my beautiful partner in life, Miss Alexus.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
Hello. And today we decided to hop on and just give you guys a little bit of a picture of our world, just a little bit of our mindset and how we think. We want to talk about thinking. We want to talk about entrepreneurship and having the mindset of being an entrepreneur and what it takes and what it looks like for us, and what we're walking through personally, because I guess we're babies at this.
Yeah, we are, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've been experiencing a whole new world lately, and there's just been a lot of things in our heart, I feel like both of us, that we can definitely just talk about and share our experiences on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we'll love to get into that. But first, how are you doing?
I'm good. Today was a pretty busy day. I've been running around. Went to a couple different towns today, so it was a lot of driving. But
How about you share a little bit about your new life of entrepreneurship and what that looks like?
Yeah, I mean, last time I was on the podcast, I was telling everybody it was when I stepped into being a full-time entrepreneur.
Okay, we talked about that.
Yeah, so if you listen to the last episode, then you know I just left my full-time job, and now I am full-time entrepreneur, being a home inspector, and also kind of diving into the real estate side of things, and some other things at play. But it's been amazing. It's been an amazing transition. I've had the best time being with myself and being at home, working with myself. And it gives you a lot more time to focus on yourself. I feel like you get a little more time to yourself and just to hear your own thoughts. You're not in such of a rush where you're having to, I got to wake up, I got to go to work, I got to get ready, I got to get ready for lunch, I have to get the next day ready, I got to go to sleep at a certain time so I'm ready for the next day. So it's been a lot, just being able to step back, get a hold of myself, my life, my timeline, and all of that, and just really take it in for what it is. It's I can't even explain how good it's been for me.
Yeah, it's definitely been healing for you and being able to just take a step back. And I feel like once you do step into being a full-time entrepreneur, then you have to find your own rhythm and your own discipline and stuff. But I think it's been a really good healing time for you, because you were in a stressful time for a stressful atmosphere for a very long time. So I think it's been really great for you, and it's awesome to see you flourish in that. But yeah, I mean, everything we've been going through ever since you started that, and I mean, when I got my real estate license in May and going into that world, I mean, we really we're literally in the midst of walking all of this and seeing our own things that we're walking through, mentally, and how to stay filled up and how to keep your priorities straight as an entrepreneur, how to make sure you're putting God first, your marriage next, and then, work is down the line. But work is always going to be in your forefront of your brain every day, especially as an entrepreneur. I mean, that client could call right now in the middle of, making a podcast, but I'm not going to stop the podcast to take the call. I just have to trust that God is going to keep that client there. If that client's meant to be, he's going to be. But there's a really good balance, and that we're going to get into with all that, and that I would love to share personally with my own experiences. And yeah, so
yeah, I like that you mentioned priorities, because that's definitely something. It's that's the challenge of being an entrepreneur. That's one of the biggest challenges of having so much time on your hands. You have to be very, very, very disciplined, and I say that with a lot of weight, because it's not easy at all. You have to be very disciplined in everything that you do, with the time that you wake up, the time that you give every single thing that you do. Are you going to work out today? Are you going to do this today? Are you going to do that today? And you have to have a flow. Like you said, you have to have a flow, and you have to have your priorities right. You can easily get pulled in whatever direction the day puts in front of you.
yeah.
And it's very easy to fall out of rhythm when you have this much time on your hands. So that's definitely a hurdle that I've been traveling, is just trying to find my rhythm. And I've played sports all my life. I've lived a pretty disciplined life. for a lot of years, like in high school and outside of high school, and like being in a corporate setting, having to have like wake up and go drive an hour, and you have to put on a show pretty much for the whole week. And that kind of instills a side of discipline in you without even realizing. But I have to find out how to transfer that into myself still, but in a different side of myself, if that makes sense. And it's a challenge. It's something you have to figure out. It's definitely not something you just like, all right, I'm an entrepreneur, like let's do this and it's gonna be great. No. Like as hard as being an entrepreneur it is alone, with having to find your own clientele, you also have to manage yourself at the same time. And if you're not good at managing yourself, then it's going to be a tough ride. And you also have to know like when to stop. Because it's always going to be, I mean, just like I mentioned, like somebody can call right now, or like I'll keep going or we'll keep going. We're like, okay, it's time to close the shop. Because I saw this one video and it was like, I became a realtor. I quit my 9-to-5 job, became a realtor just to work 24/7. Like it's just entrepreneurship is a 24/7 thing, but it's like you have to choose when to close the shop, when to focus on your family, when to be a shepherd of your home, and when to take care of everything in your home and be a steward of that and of your marriage and of your kids if you have kids, and making room for those relationships. When you start to do really, really well and you start to get, like, I know you mentioned you have all this time in your hands, but eventually right now you personally, I know you're making the steps of, you're busy every day. You're choosing to put your time towards your business to grow and to market, and there's steps you have to do before you're going to start seeing all this money flowing in, or you're going to be quote unquote 100% successful in your business. You don't just, when you become an entrepreneur, it's not like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, like I'm about to flow in it, I'm about to do amazing, I'm about to start seeing all this money coming in. Like that's not how it is. Like you become an entrepreneur to step out in faith and to lean into your faith, into God, and let him direct your steps before you. And you're not doing it alone. You're not, like me personally as a realtor, I'm not doing this on my own. Like I literally have to walk with God in this. And what that looks like for me is praying and having my time with the Lord, either like morning, night, or during the day, or all throughout the day too. But also inviting him in every decision I make, or if I'm like, I need him in my creativity. I need him if I'm having a hard client, like how can I be a blessing to this person? How can I help them in their situation? Or like praying before I go into a room, like things like that, like really makes a difference in your business. And I mean, it's just same for any kind of business. It's just inviting him literally in the middle of it all. Like we can't do this alone. When you're talking about like how you have to step out and you really have to walk in your own faith, I'm sure anybody that is an entrepreneur listening to this or has experienced any type of entrepreneurship or doing anything on your own outside of a corporation or just a 9-to-5, any type of job, you have to rely on God. Like you can't rely on yourself. Like there's only so much you can do in your power is what I'm trying to say. Like there's so much at play when it comes to being an entrepreneur or living this type of lifestyle. You really, really, really have to walk out, and you're forced to learn how to walk in your faith. And that's a little bit about what we wanted to talk about today on this podcast, is really just the mindset of an entrepreneur, and how being an entrepreneur, you can easily fall into overthinking. And overthinking is 9 times out of 10, it's always going to be a negative worst case scenario. When you overthink, it's what if this doesn't happen? What if I don't get this job? What if what if this does happen?
What if the check doesn't come in on time?
What if the check doesn't come in on time? And it's very easy to fall victim to those kinds of thought patterns. And I believe when you do have the understanding that overthinking can be caused in this world of entrepreneurship, and at the same time understanding that we're kind of programmed from like school, I don't know, like commercials, billboards, like whatever, what they teach us, what they want us to know. It's from a place of being in control. You know, going to school, getting your degree, getting that job that you want to get. That's kind of like, this is all the stuff that's in your control. And entrepreneurship is like the door that nobody has explained what it can be. And rightfully so, because entrepreneurship can be so many different things, you know. But I think if somebody does choose to go down this route of entrepreneurship, it does open like a million other doors of overthinking that is just, it's impossible to navigate on your own.
Yeah.
You know? But it's a world that you really have to be aware that is a thing, overthinking. And entrepreneurship, just like in my scenario, when I had to leave my job, it definitely was a scary thing. Like, I remember up until my last 2 weeks of being there, I was like so fed up. You know, I was like, I can't wait to leave this job. Every day I thought about it. Like, I can't wait. Striving every day just to get out of that place, because it was just not the best environment. Like, my body was going through it. And then when I did put my 2 weeks in, I was like, oh shoot, like, this is actually happening. And then I was like really scared, you know, because now I'm not going to have a check coming in. Like
week. That, you know, is going to hit the same amount every single 2 weeks, like every single month, a certain amount. Like, no, it's different when you say yes to this side of the world.
But you know what? On the other side of me leaving that job, now I see the benefits of being able to live this type of lifestyle. I see the benefits of walking out what God has called me to do, because I'm called to be an entrepreneur, and I know that. And I had to sacrifice a lot of my time being in a 9-to-5. But now that I'm walking out of it, and I didn't overthink putting my 2 weeks in, now I'm reaping the benefits.
Yeah.
Because I could have easily overthought that decision and been like, well, maybe I just need a little more time.
Yeah.
Maybe I could just stay here a little longer and, you know, build my business up and walk away and be good. But no, I see, my brain is trained now to see that not overthinking reaps the benefits of this. Now I know that. And I can see that. Yeah,
I like that you are bringing up how negativity can open up many doors, and how us not knowing how much money is going to come in consistently, because we're on a salary, that whenever you take that away, like you are taking away that control, and you are like having to release it and literally trust God to show up, and that he's going to provide for you. And he shows up over and over and over again. He always provides for us. And like, I've heard this saying, I know probably everybody has, but if you want to grow in your faith, like, start a business. I mean, you can even start a business whenever you do have a full-time job. You know, as for me right now, like, yes, I still have my full-time job, but we are still standing in faith, because you don't have that steady income anymore. And like, my real estate side of things have to replace or all that while you're building your business. And we decide to do it that way. And it's been such a blessing, and God continues to show up, and we have to trust him to bring in those clients. Like, I have a goal every single week. I have a goal every single month, and I've been able to hit that goal for the past few months, like, if anything more. And I'm like, wow, like, wow. And when you were talking about the overthinking thing, that reminds me of whenever I was thinking about stepping into real estate, and how I felt a pushback. Like, I remember you telling me you should go into real estate. Like, you would be really good at that. And what's so beautiful about marriage is the other person is there to bring the good out of you and to call the things that God has put inside of you. And that's just something that you saw that before I did. And I was like hesitant, and I was overthinking it. And I was like,
well, what if this happens? What if I don't actually make it? You know, what if...
Yeah, I had all these like what ifs and like overthinking it. And it was like, no. But I decided to take that leap of faith, and I went for it, and I was able to do all that with the full-time job. Like, I was able to get my license, and God's provided and made the way, and like, even mentally he's helped me get there. I mean, there was definitely hard times and hard things. Like, that's how it's gonna be. But how are you gonna use your faith or stretch out your faith and grow in your faith if it's not hard? So real estate, yeah, I mean, it's it's not easy. If any realtors are listening to this, but yeah, I've seen many like sayings like on real estate humor and all this stuff, and they're all like, "You won't hurt my feelings. I'm a realtor." Like that's just how it is.
You definitely have to have tough skin.
And you have to have tough skin.
Now, like I remember you were so hesitant to jump into it, and I don't know, maybe like almost just scared. I would say like on the level of just being scared of entering something unknown. And now I have to tell you like, hey, stop working. Like, it's time to like.
Because I love it. Like I really love it.
You're like obsessed with it now.
I'm genuinely enjoying it. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely been. I mean, there's like yes, I love what I do, but like I said before, like your priorities need to be right whenever you are an entrepreneur, because like you don't want everything to fall apart. Like if we recently heard, we went actually to a business leadership breakfast at our church, and it was amazing. Like I honestly want to tear up just thinking about it. Like I'm so thankful for our church in this season of our life, and the people we're starting to meet and how we're getting poured into. Like it's helping us with where we're going in life, and the people that we're going to encounter and help. Like it's helping us get there.
Definitely.
But I was expecting to go into that and like learn some crazy like business stuff. And it really just came down to making sure your priorities are right. Yeah. Like God does not, these are some notes. Like God does not need your money. He said that. I was like, oh shit.
I think he said, you're not of the importance that God needs your money that bad. Yeah. He's like, I mean, not necessarily belittling us, but kind of humbling us. Mm-hmm. Like, because a lot of people in the business world, I wouldn't even say an entrepreneur, but in the business world, have a top dog mentality. Like, hold on. Like, I don't even know if I can associate myself with these types of people, And I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
But I know, like, when we really went into this business leaders breakfast, I didn't really have any expectation because I didn't know what to expect. I just knew we were going to go to a meeting with a bunch of entrepreneurs, and I thought it was fun. But when we went in there, it was like he started talking about things in a reverse type of way, like kind of reverse engineering entrepreneurship and going to like the base. And he really talked about how if your foundation is not where it should be, which he's talking about your family, your marriage, if your foundation is not strong, then you're going to fail in every single scenario of entrepreneurship as you succeed. As you succeed, you're still going to feel that feeling of, okay, what's next? You're going to get the nice car, like he said, and say, I need a nicer one, because your foundation's not set, so that really gave me a new perspective on entrepreneurship. And I'm really, really glad that I heard that. But at the same time, like you were saying, I'm really glad that we're part of a body that kind of does things in a reverse way, because isn't that what we're supposed to be as Christians? Opposite of the world. Yeah. So reverse engineering the idea of entrepreneurship it's brilliant. I thought it was a brilliant conversation. And it really just opened my eyes to, a different kind of mindset. I feel like
what kind of different mindset?
Just, when we're talking about being an entrepreneur, if you go and network with entrepreneurs, if you go and talk with other people that are in business, it's always money talk. It's always, what's the next thing? It's always that type of mindset. That's what's going to get us to the top. Yeah. And it's never about what's really important.
Like humbling. And
it's always, I think, to me, most of the time, at least what I've encountered, I don't want to label every single person that's in entrepreneurship, but a lot of entrepreneurs that I come across, it's rooted in pride. And it's rooted in what I can do. Like
successful entrepreneurs that like are made it to the top, or like rolling, like making a lot of money, pretty much.
Yeah. But I mean, you can still be successful as an entrepreneur and be failing in life. Yeah. There's a very, very hard, distinct line between those two. Being successful as an entrepreneur doesn't automatically mean that you're winning in life. So that type of talk of going to the foundation, going to the root, and making sure that your priorities are straight before you even take your next step. It was humbling.
Yeah, two things that he said that was coming to me right now is you don't need your business, you need your family. And I thought that was very beautifully said because it's true. Like, we need each other first. Like, we don't need our business. We need each other. That business could go away tomorrow. And like, how is this? Like, is it ruining your marriage? Is, for example, like, when's my cutoff time at night or things like that? Like, I know being a realtor is a slippery slope though, because there are deadlines and things you have to do, but it's like, how is this though? Yeah. Is he in the middle of it with me? Is your marriage like okay? Do you have communication? Like, hey babe, like tonight we have a contract I need to be put out, or we have stuff on the deadline, like I have to have this sent by this time, like I'm gonna do this, can you help with dinner tonight while I finish this? Like, it's all about bringing, like, it's a team. It's a teamwork. Yeah. Like, we're in this together. If you're just going off and shutting the door, like, oh yeah, I have some work to do, like, your marriage is just not gonna thrive in that. Yeah. Like, if you bring each other in the middle of your business, like, can you imagine how powerful that could be? Like, when you're down, you can be down. Like, if I'm having a really hard day, like, Jonathan is there to help me in that hard day and lift me back up. If he's having a hard day, I'm there to help him lift him back up. Sometimes. Come on now. Never mind. We're done with this episode.
No, but I wanted to also point out, like, this guy that was speaking to us.
Do you remember his name?
I don't. He was Australian though. But I do remember.
Say Andrew?
I don't
Pastor
remember.
Andrew or something?
I don't know. Oh, but this gentleman that was speaking to us at this business leaders breakfast, he's from Australia, and he's giving us these concepts about kind of reverse engineering entrepreneurship in business as he's making $50 million a year. This year alone, he pulled in $50 million. And he's talking about not the next sales tactic, not how to get more money, not how to be more successful, but really about how to win at life and what really, really matters. So when you see somebody on that level of success, really, I mean, that's success. Like, you're 50 million, I mean, that's generational money, dude. Like, you're pretty set at that. There's not really anything that you would need, at that level. And when you're hearing somebody talk about how is your family, how is your wife, how is your relationship with God, and that's just, it's kind of like, it shakes your core. It's just like, dang, like, I've been doing things a little wrong. It makes you really take a second look and just kind of check yourself.
Yeah. And another thing he said, he was like, if you're making it about, as soon as you're making it about me, like, just expect it to just go downhill from there. Yeah. It's like, yeah, like when I have the mentality of, like, when I'm closing like a lease or helping somebody buy a home, if I'm making it about myself, like, there's no fruit in that. It's not. As soon as you turn around and you make it about them and, like, helping them out and seeing this as a soul and not like a check, like, it's going to be way more fulfilling for you.
Yeah. Well, I think all in all, over this conversation, I really have had what's been placed on my heart recently, is really just this experience of learning how to walk in faith even more. And this experience of, honestly, I've been learning about God in a completely new way. And I've been able to understand his word on a completely new level. I don't know what to credit that to, but I'm just very, very grateful for it. And I think just going through this journey of this new season of stepping away from my job and stepping into entrepreneurship has really grown me in this very, very short amount of time. It stretched me. There's been up days, there's been down days. And a lot of it has been, or really all of it has been a lesson. All of it has been teaching me how things can be up and down. And isn't that just life? Life is always up and down. But I've really been very observant, I feel like. I've been very observant of how I've been feeling, things that God wants to speak to me. And it's been very fulfilling to be able to do that. Just the fact of being able to be observant of myself. And that has really been comforting, I guess, is the word. Like, I just feel comforted in this season. And I really just wanted to share this picture of our world on the podcast and kind of give a little bit of a sneak peek of, you know, our everyday life, our mindset, how we think, how we move, and really just put it out there, because you never know, somebody could be out there easily struggling with overthinking if they should step out and to go into their business, and what does that other side look like. You know, so I'm here to say from experience, if you're ready, pull the trigger. You know, like there's an amazing world on the other side of pulling the trigger and not overthinking. When I was thinking about this concept or this idea, I recently went hunting. I got my first deer.
Congratulations.
But the idea of hunting kind of came to me because when you're hunting, you know, you have your scope pointed at the deer. If you overthink that shot, you're not getting your deer. That's it. Your meat is gone. Like the food is gone. So you have to pull the trigger. You can't overthink when it's time to hunt, when it's time to kill. So if you're ready, pull that trigger. And there is benefits on the other side of that.
That is beautifully said.
Thank you.
Well, I would like to end this with, if you are overthinking, to turn the overthinking to the joy of the Lord. And whenever you're reading the Bible, and credit to you, you're really helping me. You're really encouraging me to read the Bible in a deeper way. And I know we just talked about that. Like, you're able to learn the word in a new way this time of life. And you have, like, your hunger is so contagious and, like, it's inspiring. It's like, it makes me want to have that hunger, you know? And so you're my husband, you're the leader of the home. And so, like, you being in that place is just going to triple down to me. That's just how it is. You're the umbrella, you know, this home. And so that's the right word, right?
Yeah.
Umbrella. So, yeah, you're my umbrella. Umbrella. But yeah, that wasn't the right melody for that. Anyways, if you know what I'm talking about, Rihanna.
This is everyday life. This is life.
Oh no, I'm losing my train of thought. Okay, hold on. Okay, so when you're reading the word and you actually get into it, and then it leads you to, like, on your footnotes, like if you have a study Bible, it'll tell you, oh, go to this verse, or then you take it to this verse and be like, oh, well, this word means this. And it was like one of those moments where I was like, wow, like, this is so many layers. It's so beautiful. And it was talking about joy of the Lord and, like, what that really means. And it just, like, broke it down to security, contentment, safety, love. And all of this is, like, God's love pouring out on us. And so if we turn the overthinking, because overthinking just leads to negativity, like we talked about, switch that to the joy of the Lord and, like, study and meditate on what the joy of the Lord means to you in this season. Like, how can you let God's love pour out onto you every day? What areas can you find contentment in? What areas can you find contentment in, and security and safety, and, like, let his love just be over you. So I just hope that encourages you guys in whatever decision you're trying to make next, or whatever season you're in life. If you're in high school trying to figure out what college to go to, if you're trying to figure out what degree, like, we've all been in that place. We're all in that place. Man, I had a parent went to literally college when she was, like, in her early 40s, or she's still in her early 40s. I would say, like, late 30s. Like, it's never too late to switch things up, you know, like, just cruise with life a little bit. It's gonna be all right. And just step into those doors. So if you don't step into the next door ahead of you, then, like, how are you going to know what the door is behind that door, or the people that you're going to meet behind that door? If you just stay stagnant, I mean, I don't really see much happening in your life. So yeah, that's all I kind of have to say in that area.
Switch rooms. Well, I just want to say thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Higher View podcast again. If you haven't checked us out on all of our social media pages, we are everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of the good stuff, and YouTube, and anywhere you can listen to a podcast. So if you want to watch us, you can check out YouTube. And if you want to listen to us, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere you can find a podcast. And if you know an entrepreneur that can benefit from this episode, please send this to them. And tune in next time, because we're going to be coming up with some amazing content. And hopefully it's on the same basis, because I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, I love talking about this stuff too. I mean, it's close to the new year, so y'all just buckle up and stay tuned for whatever we have next year.
a lot in the pocket. A lot in
the pocket.
A lot happening.
I mean, we need to end this, but we did kind of like,
yeah.
We officially made this our podcast room as one of our extra rooms, and yeah, so this is welcome to the new studio.
Yep. This is the new studio.
And we still have a little bit to do. I put some like photo collages up here. You can't even see it. So we need to figure out how we're going to bring this down. But Jonathan made that wall over there. It looks so good.
Looks good, right?
Love it. It's such a beautiful like off-white color. But yeah, this is going to be the new podcast room. So I'm excited for consistency again on our page.
It's coming.
All the good things. Yeah.
We talk about this every day. No joke.
Every day we're like, oh, we need to record. Today we're like, honestly, like what we mentioned it yesterday, we're like, we need to record this week. And then today we were like, tonight we're like, we need to record it. I'd be like, oh, well, we were talking about this stuff last week. So anyways, I'm glad we made it. We love you guys. Thank y'all for listening. And please send if anybody comes to your mind or heart.
Peace out.
Peace out.